Welcome to Cedar Creek Lake Television. I'm your host, James Robertson. We're live from the Flying Grape and Bean Coffee Gift House in Gun Barrel City, Texas. Joining me today on the program is DJ Warren, manager of the Athens Farmers Market. She'll be here to talk about the historical ag culture of Athens and the history of the Black Eyed Pea Festival. Also on the program today will be Stephen Gent from McDades Nursery. We'll go live to that location to talk about plants that are tolerant of the Texas drought and heat. And also joining us is special musical guest Kadie Lynn, who will be here to talk about some of her projects and perform a song for us. I'd like to give a special thank you to the Flying Grape and Bean for allowing us to use their beautiful location to film Cedar Creek Lake Television. And now I'd like to introduce DJ Warren. She is the manager of the Athens Farmers Market. Welcome to the program, DJ. So DJ, you are the manager of the Athens Farmers Market. Tell us a little bit about the market.
Well, the Athens Farmers Market meets every Saturday, May through October, 8 to noon in the city parking lot located at 212 North Palestine in downtown Athens, Texas. And it also runs once a month in our fall season from November to April. And that is on the first Monday weekends of in conjunction with Canton's First Monday.
Right. What can people find at the market?
Right now, in season, we have squashes, zucchinis. We have beautiful Japanese eggplant, nice. Round eggplants, several different varieties, onions, potatoes, cucumbers, a lot of okra right now. It's definitely okra season. We also have heirloom varieties of many different plants and vegetables that we have as well.
Okay. And what is heirloom? What is that as opposed to?
Well, you have different types of seeds. There are heirloom seeds and GMO seeds, and also seeds that come from plants or vegetables that have been naturally selected to be bred together versus the GMO, which is a chemical or an insertion genetically, right, versus taking apple trees or pear trees and grafting them together, or putting them in your peas together so that they're pollinated in a certain way.
Okay. What's the downside of GMO seeds?
To be brief, a few of the things that, unfortunately, actually with GMO seeds, we don't really know all the dangers that come along with them, because unfortunately the government has taken an approach, instead of saying these are potentially hazardous, let's do tests and make sure they're okay for human consumption, they've taken the approach as, we don't know that they do anything bad, so we're going to go ahead and feed them to you. Wow. And unfortunately right now, globally, it's a massive problem. There's been at least 27 countries that have denounced Monsanto, which is the leader of GMO seeds. And GMO, some people may not know, the GM in GMO stands for genetically modified. So they'll take different parts of one kingdom, like Monera, which has viruses and bacteria, and they'll add it to your plantain, which is corn, soy, and all these other wonderful things that you would think would not be harmful to your health. The top 7 producers or products of GMO are corn, soy, cottonseed, alfalfa, papaya, canola, and sugar beets, and they make up pretty much all of our commercialized food and conventional food that we unfortunately take into our bodies, which is why it's really important to ask your farmer, or to be able to ask your farmer, which is why we stress very, very strongly to go to your local farmers markets. Please come to ours. We would love that. We have really wonderful farmers, but if Athens is too far for you and there's one in your local area, visit them, talk to your farmers, ask them how they grow your food, because if they're eating the food, surely they will be growing things in a proper manner. And
Absolutely.
by proper, I mean without pesticides. Farmers hate to use the O word, organic. Because there's so many different things that come along with that that are specified by the government. So most people tend to choose the words pesticide-free.
So, yeah, I'd actually read that, going back to the GMO, because I actually was looking at stats of the American or the United States crops, and in 2011 I saw that 90% of our corn crop was GMO now, and I also saw some tests that they had ran and on animals, and it was showing scarring of like stomach lining and
yes. Unfortunately, organ toxicity is one of the #1 effects of GMO foods. And while you may think, oh, well, 90% of our food, or 90% of corn is being used for livestock, but that livestock is in turn giving us our milk that we're feeding our children every single day.
Right.
It's giving us our meat that we're eating and serving to our families every single day.
right.
So when you break it down to a molecular level and you think our bodies are taking in this GMO food that has been processed and it's breaking down in our bodies to that molecular level, and that molecular level is being absorbed into us. And that's causing proliferation of cancers and different types of allergens. There has been, since the 90s, the late 90s, almost a doubling or tripling of allergies in children that were not there. The peanut allergy has doubled. Where it was only, a handful of people would have a peanut allergy. Now it's almost across the board. And so many children and babies have soy intolerances. And right now, 93% of all soy is GM. And things that come from, you might think, oh, well, I don't drink soy milk.
Right, but
and I don't eat edamame.
but they make don't they make vegetable
They make
oil?
everything, hydrogenated oils, emulsifiers, different parts that make up different vitamins, especially vitamin E, and different proteins. And then another big one is the cottonseed plant. 94% of cottonseed is GMO, and that's, you might think, oh, well, I wear cotton, so really that wouldn't really affect me, but it's made into vegetable oil, margarine, shortening production, and used in frying foods like potato chips, and most Americans eat potato chips.
Absolutely. So what would you say for the like the papaya, the Hawaiian papaya? I know was having a lot of problems making it.
Right. They actually. Papaya there's a virus that is common to papayas, and it was decimating the papaya population in Hawaii. And so they genetically engineered the papaya seed to grow and try to withstand that. And they've also done that with corn and some other things, but now we're seeing that it's not been so beneficial, because now they have super bugs and super weeds, and these Roundup ready plants and seeds that we're growing are now becoming tolerant, and we're taking these pesticides at a molecular level into our bodies.
Right.
So while it has helped revitalize the papaya industry, you have to think that there's some other natural way that can help supplement that so that it's not GM.
Right. And they don't have to label GMO ingredients
No,
in food.
currently in the United States they don't have to. A lot of corporations and businesses are taking the initiative to do so on their own, which Right on. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's very good for us as consumers. But unlike other countries that have said, hey, Kraft, hey, PepsiCo, hey, Coca-Cola, these products that you're making that have the GM gene in it, our consumers don't want that. Our countries, our communities, we don't want that. And so the United States hasn't gotten to that point yet to say no. And the way you say no here is with your dollars, unfortunately. When you continue to buy these products and support these companies, you're telling them that it's okay to continue to poison yourself, your children, your families, and your community. And in the other countries, Kraft has completely taken out some of these things. PepsiCo has completely taken out these things, and they continue to sell their product, but in a non-GMO manner. And they label it non-GMO, and they label it with a warning that says GMO products have been proven or shown to cause these effects.
Right. So what effect does that have on our farmers that are not using GMO?
In the past 4 years, it has made a tremendous difference. I'd say within the past 4 to 10 years, because it's really become a more, I hate to say popular thing, but it's more widespread. People know about it, and there is a concern, whereas in the past it may have just been looked at as something the hippies are worried about. But now that people know about it and they are learning about it and they're taking the initiative themselves to learn and to educate themselves, it's becoming an issue, and it really affects how people buy their groceries. I have people every Saturday come and tell me, we're so grateful to be able to have this farmers market because we know what's out there, and we know that we can come here and we can look our farmers in the eye and ask them how they grow their food, and we know that our neighbors and our community are going to be honest with us.
Absolutely. So, okay, we talked about that maybe more than you wanted to, but let's go to the historical agriculture of Athens.
All right. Well, Athens has been farming since the early 1900s and before, clearly. But around the early 1900s, around 1909, J.B. Henry was very instrumental in making the black-eyed pea be the main cash crop of Athens in Henderson County. He figured a way to combat the weevils that were decimating the crops by drying the peas. He found that if you dried them in these ovens, then you didn't have the pest control that was needed previously. You could dry them and they would be ready to sell, and you wouldn't have to worry about them being eaten. So this made it a very viable agricultural product. And soon enough, we were named the black-eyed pea capital of the world, and we functioned as such for several decades. From the 30s into the 70s, we're the largest producer of black-eyed peas in the world. And they were grown in Athens, they were canned in Athens, they were shipped from Athens, and people all over the world honestly knew about black-eyed peas. We even started a black-eyed pea jamboree and do a black-eyed pea cook-off, which the black-eyed pea jamboree doesn't really happen as much anymore, but the black-eyed pea cook-off still happens every year in the summertime at the Athens Arboretum. And we're very happy to be able to continue that tradition as well. My family actually had a little role in getting the cook-off started, my great-uncle and aunt.
Oh, really?
He was the first chairperson for that event. So
wow.
It takes me back to being a little girl and going to the black-eyed pea cook-off every year and seeing all these great things that are going on in Athens, and being able to do the farmers market really helps. It makes me feel like my family is being back a part of the community again. So it's really cool for me personally.
That's awesome.
Some of the things that come out of the black-eyed pea cook-off, we've been known for a black-eyed pea teeny. Mr. Perryman came up with that. We even have Texas caviar, which is a marinated version. It's been put in Jell-O. My mother won one year with pea rocks. It was black-eyed peas stuffed in a bread bowl. But there's so many wonderful things that come out of the black-eyed pea, and most people think that it's just something that you eat for good luck at New Year's, but it's.
Where does that come from?
Well, it actually comes from the days of the Civil War. When the Northern troops came to the South, they would burn all the fields and the plantations for control, and the fields of peas were thought to be meant for the livestock, so they left the peas alone, and in order to be able to continue to feed the livestock that they could use. And the southern people were forced to eat solely black-eyed peas to sustain themselves through those years. So now we eat it out of traditionally humility, that we were able to overcome that and pay homage to this legume for keeping us alive and healthy for that season.
Oh wow. I have to ask you, because you have it on here, have you had this black-eyed pea cheesecake?
I have not had the black-eyed pea cheesecake.
I love cheesecake, but I don't know about black-eyed pea cheesecake.
That might be something that we have to try out and bring you some.
I'll definitely take it.
But you never know. It could be as good as the peatini.
I'll definitely have to try it. Well, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. I really appreciate it, and I hope that anyone and everyone please comes and joins us each Saturday for the Farmers Market from 8 to 12. We've got wonderful farmers, wonderful community, and we're very happy to be a part of it.
And it's right on the square, right?
Yes, it's 1 block northeast of the square on Highway 19 going north to Palestine.
Okay, great. Thanks for joining us, DJ.
Thank you.
Have a good day. And we'll be right back after these messages. Are you looking for an affordable, trustworthy handyman? Then call Fields Home Renovations. With over 20 years of experience, Fields Home Renovations specializes in all types of home repair, construction, and remodel. Servicing North and East Texas, Fields Home Renovations offers free estimates and competitive bids. Painting, sheetrock, tile, cabinets, leak repairs, landscaping, flooring, and much more. No job is too big or too small for Fields Home Renovations. Call Tim Fields today at 214-799-3104. Paradise Party Rentals is your one-stop shop for fun, providing bounce houses, water slides, and combos for your next birthday party or event. You provide the party, and Paradise Party Rentals provides the fun. Serving Van Zant, Rains, Henderson, Smith, Kaufman, Wood, Hunt, Rockwall, and Collin counties. Don't take their word for it. Give them a call today and see for yourself what the wonderful world of Paradise Party Rentals has to offer for your party. Call today and book your event at 903-451-5169. Welcome back to Cedar Creek Lake Television. We're here live at McDades Nursery to talk to owner Stephen Gent about Texas plants that are tolerant of the drought. We're here at McDades Nursery in Toole, Texas with owner Stephen Gent to talk about plants that are tolerant of the Texas drought. So please welcome Stephen Gent.
Thank you, James. It's an honor and a privilege to be part of Cedar Creek Lake Television. I've got several plants that we want to take a look at today. A lot of our customers come in this time of year when we have 100 degrees temperatures, and they're asking what type of plants grow well in this location. So I'm going to start out with the first plant, and this is it's called a penta, and you may be familiar with this. And it comes in a variety of different colors. This is a nice reddish color, lipstick. Comes in a white and a lavender and a pink color as well too. And this is extremely drought tolerant. In fact, it's almost bulletproof. It's well liked here in this area, and butterflies like it as well too. Not so much for the nectar, but they like it as a landing platform. They come and lay on there and just rest up a little bit before they move on. But a very good plant for here at Cedar Creek Lake. Next one up is one you're probably familiar with. This is vinca. It's also called periwinkle as well too. That's more of the old-time name for it. Again, this one comes in a variety of different colors. We have a lavender here, but it comes in white and reds and pinks and different colors as well too. Again, does extremely well in the heat, can tolerate a lot of excessive temperatures above 100 degrees. And I have one here too that is sort of a little bit unusual to find. It's called Jams and Jellies. It's a nice sort of purplish color, hard to come by, but again does really well in this part of the state. Next up, I've got a grouping of 3 different plants that do very well, and they're sort of related. They're in this family of plants called succulents. The first one is called purslane, and has a very nice leaf structure and trails very well. Does very well in hanging baskets, and will tolerate the heat and the sun extremely well. Now, related to it is one called portulaca. And sort of similar, but the leaves are a little bit finer, but does very well again in hanging baskets. And the third one in this group is called moss rose, and sometimes moss rose can be confused with portulaca. But this is the hanging basket that we have, and it produces some really beautiful, nice, bright colors. Comes in pinks and this color, this sort of reddish color, fuchsia color, and also white as well too. Does extremely well, and again does very well in hanging baskets. Now these plants that I've shown you are basically annual plants, and so they will probably do well until the first frost. If you're looking for plants that do well here and can tolerate the heat, but also you want them to come back next year, I've got a couple I want to show you. This first one is called a hardy hibiscus. And you may be familiar with some of the hibiscus. They're more of a tropical color. They come in very colorful reds and whites and yellows and oranges. But they are tropicals and probably need to be brought in during the winter months. This is a hardy hibiscus. Will make it through the winter here in Texas, in Cedar Creek Lake area. It'll die back down, but it'll come back the following year. This one is called the Star of Texas and has this beautiful flower, a red flower. And this one's got several blooms, and it's really spectacular when it's in full bloom. Really a good plant for the Texas garden. And this other one that I have is lantana. And probably a lot of you are familiar with lantana. We have it in several colors. It comes in a white, it comes in a purple, comes in a sort of a pinkish color. There's several other colors as well too that it comes in, but extremely drought tolerant. I know of one in Athens at a school, and the teachers have been looking after this lantana plant. They don't water it. It stands several feet high and is beautiful and doesn't require any water at all. But a great plant for Texas. Need to cut it back during the winter months, but it'll bounce back the following year. So these are just a sample of some of the plants that we have here at McDades. Please feel free to stop on by and come by and look at them.
We're here with local singer and actress Kadie Lynn, and she's going to be performing a song for us in just a little bit. But first, we're going to talk to her about some of the past projects and what she's got coming up. So, where are some of the places you've performed?
Well, I've performed tons of places, but I can probably name a few. Okay. The Arlington Music Hall, and of course Arlington, like the Kemp July Fest, the Gun Barrel July Fest. I can't think of any right now, but my hometown Opry in 7 Points, the Hayseed Opry at the VFW.
Mm-hmm. And that's coming up, right? Mm-hmm. On the 16th?
This Friday, yes.
Okay. What time does that start?
I think about 7:30.
Okay. All right. So this Friday at the VFW, you'll get a chance to see Kadie perform at the Hayseed Opry. And what was July Fest like? Because you're up there with some pretty big names.
Yeah. I mean, it was just like amazing. I was kind of nervous at the same time because I usually never get nervous, and I'm just like, this must be pretty big if I'm nervous.
A lot of people.
Yeah, tons.
And you're only 10, right?
9.
9.
Almost 10.
Almost 10. Okay. So there must be at least a few people that have helped you get to where you are professionally.
Yeah. I really want to thank Angela and Rayburn up at the VFW. They print a lot of my CDs, and if it's too low for me or too high for me, they change the key because I had no clue how to do that. No clue whatsoever. But and there is Mickey Hooten. She is my sponsor at Mickey's in Kent. Tons of jewelry. I mean, I love going there. And also Mickey Rainey. She's the one who got me on the July Fest, and she said I might get to go next year too, so I'm really excited about that.
Oh, great.
And this time there's going to be a tent over the stage. So.
Okay. Coming up in November, you are going to be part of a cruise fest and performing for the Prime Minister of the Bahamas, right?
Right.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, the one over this is Arnie Ship. He is awesome. The Ship Family Gospel Cruise Fest. He put everything on, and last year he barely even knew who I was, but now we're just best friends.
So how does the Prime Minister of the Bahamas get wind of this?
Oh my gosh, this is pretty much singing for the President of the United States for me, because this is huge. I mean, there's no other way to say it. Every time someone asks me about it, I'm just speechless because I can't think of anything else.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And that's in November. And can people take part in this?
Yes. You can go to my website and it'll give you a link of the cruise, and you can click on it, reserve your room, and it'll show you all the performers that are going to be on there.
Okay.
So.
And that's kadielynn.org?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, kadielynn.org. If you want to go on that cruise to the Bahamas, be sure, we'll put it up on the screen. Be sure to visit that, kadielynn.org, and get your tickets for that, because that sounds pretty amazing. So when we come back, you'll sing a song for us?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll be right back with Kadie Lynn performing.
Are you looking for an affordable, trustworthy handyman? Then call Fields Home Renovations. With over 20 years of experience, Fields Home Renovations specializes in all types of home repair, construction, and remodel. Servicing North and East Texas, Fields Home Renovations offers free estimates and competitive bids. Painting, sheetrock, tile, cabinets, leak repairs, landscaping, flooring, and much more. No job is too big or too small for Fields Home Renovations. Call Tim Fields today at 214-799-3104. Stop smoking and start living a healthier life. At Top Shelf Vaping, you can sample all of their delicious flavors before you commit to buying them. The electronic cigarette is substantially better and a less harmful method of smoking. In fact, you are getting rid of over 4,700 chemicals. Get your taste and smell back and have more energy. Come in, enjoy their lounge, fresh-made coffee, and friendly atmosphere. Top Shelf Vaping is located at 1012 West Main Street, Suite 106 in Gun Barrel City, Texas. Or give them a call at 903-887-8273. Stop smoking and start vaping.
Here to perform When Will I Be Loved, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Kadie Lynn.
I've been cheated, been mistreated. When will I be loved? I've been put down, I've been pushed around. When will I be loved?
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Kadie Lynn, and she is actually working on her upcoming debut album, and you can help her fund that project by, we'll throw it up on the screen here. You can go to kadielynn.org and help her get that album out. Once again, I'd like to thank the Flying Grape and Bean for using their location, and we'll see you next time here on Cedar Creek Lake Television. All right, Kadie, will you play us out?
I will.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, it's Kadie Lynn.
Twinkle, twinkle.